Okay, here we go. Oh my word. That is absolutely outstanding. Hello folks, they are Sloppy Joe buns. Encased Sloppy Joes to make them mess free. This is a recipe by Alton Brown, one of my favourite chefs actually. I love his style, I love his shows that he's done, and also his recipes so far that I've tried out have been absolutely phenomenal, including the chicken paprika, where you cook the chicken on a rack and all of the juices seep into potatoes underneath. That was just absolutely phenomenal. There's a lot of work to put into this, but hopefully the aim is to seal all of that stereotypical Sloppy Joe messy filling encased in a bun to make it, well, I guess it's going to be an unsloppy Joe, isn't it? So for the dough, roughly 80 mils of milk in here, 110 mil roughly of water. This is cold and it needs to be hot. And this is why I really like Alton Brown. His descriptive words are amazing. I've got to nuke that mixture in the microwave for about 30 seconds. So basically we're just going to make it warm to help the yeast, all right? In goes some sugar, which yeast loves. It feeds off of that, and that is an awful long amount of sugar. And now this is salt, which I've always told not to really put in with yeast at the same time. That's always caused a little bit of debate, but I believe that salt acts as a bit of an inhibitor to contra sugar, whereas sugar, the yeast feeds off of that, whereas the salt kind of restricts it a little bit. But anyhow, we better get the yeast in there. And this is just a fast action sachet of yeast, which I've just poured some on the counter. We're gonna get that straight in there. And a chef friend of mine did tell me a while back, he's like how he now buys yeast every time fresh. Luckily the supermarket now sells like individual sachets. I've now started buying these because I used to buy like multi-packs, like a pack of say 10 fast action yeast sachets, and I don't use them that often. So what I found was like by buying the individual ones, hopefully, in fact I can see it already, it started foaming, and that you basically don't want to ruin all this by having potentially sachets of yeast that you've had in your cupboard for a little bit of time that is probably still in date but might not be as punchy. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. It's starting to get foamy now. A couple more minutes and we'll get it in the bowl with this. Some plain flour, vegetable oil, and our foamy, milky, watery, yeasty mixture all in there. Look at that. That is a weird concoction right there. Apparently this should be like quite a shaggy dough. And when I hear that phrase, I just think of Scooby-Doo. Do you know what? I still like to do the old. I love doing that, right? Yeah. Look, if I didn't need evidence that I'm making dough already, like it literally ends up, embrace the mess, right? Let's just knead this together. Oh wow, that is sticky, yeah. Actually, it's not a massive piece of dough that, is it really, in consideration? Actually, when you look at the size of the bowl that I'm about to put this in, well, I mean, you know, it's got plenty of room to grow, hasn't it? So now we seal it. I just knocked something over, whoops. So now into a warm space. So I'll just put it down there with some rocks that Phoebe's been painting, actually her Cozy Craft stuff. I'll show you a little bit, spoiler. Let's go like that very quickly, but that is one that Phoebe's working on right now for someone very, very cool indeed. Thank you to anyone that supports Phoebe on our website, Cozy Crafts. And I love that Alton Brown says when you're putting the dough to rest there, put it out of direct sunlight and away from air conditioning, which for me as an English person is probably one of the most English things ever. We very rarely need air conditioning and we do rarely get much sunlight. All right, you'd think that now that dough is resting, that you could have a rest, put your feet up, maybe watch some TV, have a coffee, something like that. However, you could do if you did a slow overnight proof or even 48 hour to really develop the flavour in there if you wanted to. But I've actually washed up, got half of the water down me as standard, a little bit of a wipe down, and we've got to start to think about the Sloppy Joe filling. Now, I always thought that there was a story that a Sloppy Joe was basically someone that mucked up a burger and just made a complete mess and still cooked it. But basically, a Sloppy Joe, according to Wikipedia, is a sandwich consisting of ground beef, onions, tomato, ketchup, Worcester sauce and other seasonings, as we'll see, served on a hamburger bun, and you embrace the messiness, which is what we're completely ruling out today. I kind of love it and I kind of hate it, but I'm fairly certain I heard that before, that that's what happened in a restaurant. Someone mucked up a burger and just were like, oh, we'll just call it a Sloppy Joe. But apparently there's lots of different theories about the recipe's origin. It's fair to say there is almost a variation for every country in the world, and even regionalised too. Let's get on and make this filling. All right, so I've got to weigh out my onions. It says I need 240 grams of yellow ones. So I'm gonna just round it to like 2 yellow onions, which are nice and sweet. So we'll get these chopped. Not gonna lie, the tears did come eventually, but anyhow, this is what 240 grams of roughly chopped onions looks like. And I'm not putting it back in the scale because I'll be like, nah. Yeah, just two, let's just call it 2 onions. So we need 150 grams of green peppers. I've got 200 there, but by the time I de-seed them and get rid of the core, we should be all right. So basically 2 peppers, 2 onions. And there's legitimately an onion on my camera there. Okay, Dick, I'm not going to show you it all, but if you're interested in seeing what 14 grams of garlic is, it's basically 3 garlic cloves, which I've got to chop up. Tell you what, by the time I've done all this, I reckon our dough is going to be ready, but there's our garlic. Oil, let's get this hot. We've got some brown sugar, paprika, chili powder, cumin, onion powder, and this is some mustard powder. Now, I always joke with Stuart whenever I go to Norwich, oh, Norwich is where mustard's from, and he sort of broke it to me last time I was there that yeah, it's kind of all moved abroad now. Well, it still smells like English mustard powder anyway. This is some salt and some fresh pepper. So in a minute, all that other stuff's going to join us, but apparently just for a bit, we give this a little bit of love and attention. All right, that's starting to get a little bit translucent. It's time to add more stuff to this party, apparently. So we'll get the brown sugar in, the mustard from Norwich, onion powder, chili powder, paprika, oh yeah, I went smoked, and the cumin. Garlic down there. And last up, of course, we are going to need some beef in here. Oh my gosh. That is straight from the packet, hence its extremely symmetrical shape. So we're going to break down this mince. I don't know if it's just me, but I find that now that beef mince, particularly for environmental reasons, they package it in like a more easy recyclable plastic. It's kind of like vacuum packed and sealed. But yeah. But because it's so sort of tightly vacuum packed, you've got to really break it down to make it realise that it's mince again. When they first changed the packaging, I was like, what? Felt like I bought a pack of Play-Doh or something. So we're just trying to brown this off right now. Alrighty, hopefully you can see that there. You can see there's a lot of the juices that have come away as it's cooked. I'm quite excited now because it's got a little bit more exciting with the colour as well. But what we need to do is actually drain off some of this. I guess this is to stop it going too soggy. Nobody wants a soggy, unsloppy Joe bun. Wow, that's actually quite a lot, isn't it? Ooh, that's actually going to make it slightly healthier too. This is some vinegar. I like how we've just made it sort of unsloppy by getting rid of all that juice. And now we're going to possibly make it more sloppy, but anyhow, this is some Worcestershire sauce, some tomato puree, liquid smoke, okay? Got quite a lot of this in the house. That's going to make it smell and feel like a proper outdoor cook thing. Basically, someone's just probably burnt a load of wood and bottled it up. Now this is some ketchup and mustard, and I really like what that's done. Reminds me of the Flash. That smells amazing now. Oh my word, I could just stop and eat this now. Right, we'll warm it up again. Sorry, I've just got to... Oh wow. Oh, that is amazing. There's like this overriding cloakness where the thickness of the ketchup and the mustard has surrounded it. A little bit of spice, but it's that sweet tang around it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I could quite happily have a sloppy Joe right now. We've just shoved that into a slice of bread, but no, we've got to carry on. Let's see what that dough is doing, or maybe doughing. Mate, you really should taste that beef. I think you'd like it. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at this. Haven't you grown? This is awesome. That has, to be fair, had probably an hour and 45, but we barely filled the bowl when we first put it in there, and that's done really well. Looks like a massive marshmallow. Now, I might go slightly against the recipe. I might make mine slightly bigger. But yeah, apparently we divide it in half, so I can keep this for another day, or maybe in about an hour's time. We'll see how it goes. But see, even for me, that would probably be enough for like one. But it's saying this is enough for 6. 6 pieces like that. But I don't know. We'll just try one. I might be underestimating it here. So maybe I'll do a couple like that, and I've still got the other half here. I might make some sort of with double that amount just in case. But I actually feel once that's gathered up, it's not going to be too bad. Right, so I've just put them on a baking tray. They're fairly even sized, and they can just rest for another 15, which gives me a chance to make the slightly bigger versions with the other dough right about here. I'm probably wrong, but I just wanted for my own sanity, really. And plus, there's nothing wrong with making massive ones, is there? But I have just blended them in a little bit just in case they expand a little too much. So 15, 20 minutes apparently. I might leave it a little bit longer so I can clean down again, and then we roll. The only other thing I need to get is some dill pickles. Now, in the UK supermarkets, it's becoming more common to have American aisles. I absolutely loved when I was in Florida looking at the English aisle. I found that absolutely fascinating. I think nearly every UK supermarket American section that I've been in seems to end up with basically being 90% Reese's peanut butter cups in many variation, and Pop-Tarts. Oh, and actually also pumpkin puree. You get that loads now. One thing I did see there, though, I've clocked these before, Dino's Famous Pickles. I could have just bought a standard jar of gherkins that the supermarket does for about 1/3 of the price. So I was interested to know, is this like a massively well-known brand over the pond? Hopefully it's worth it. Ironically, it is not opening, so let's try that hack. Oh my gosh! just snapped my... Oh no. Let's make note of that. This isn't a very good wooden spoon anymore. But was it worth it? Oh! Did you hear it? The actual seal? Oh yeah, sorry. I actually generally might put seal in the thumbnail with Alton Brown because these are technically sealed. But yeah, Sloppy Joe buns, right? But I don't know if you heard that. Oh my gosh, as I pour the juice everywhere, it actually raised up when I whacked it. So that's proof that that hack does genuinely work. It's like a knife through butter. It's really tender and actually quite fun. This might be one, I don't know what my favorite thing to slice in the world is. Bizarrely, sometimes chocolate actually. I like slicing chocolate, but this is soft and tender and the knife is just going through it easy. I could keep them like that and have it fairly chunky, or I could go, or I could just bought a pre-bought jar. Damn. Hey folks, you know what that is? That's a dill. And you know what this is? That's no big deal. Way! I love that, sorry. Anyhow, I can't understand why this mixture is gradually going down every time I walk past it. Extremely good. Right, let's get that dough. To be fair, they have puffed up quite a lot and now these are looking considerably massive, especially given that is the casing. So we'll go with the standard size it says in the recipe first, and yeah. But I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna be intricate with it. We're gonna like give each one its chance to have a little platform. Oh, that's delicate, I like that. So we take some of the filling, put that in the middle. Oh wow, now, is that too much? I think we can get a bit more in there. But hey, if it doesn't work, we've got all day to play around with it. Well, actually, this has taken 4 hours so far, but we've got the rest of the day. And then we bring the sides up to kind of meet each other, no pun intended. And then it says to do like a little twist. And then we turn it over. That actually went bizarrely well. Onto a larger baking tray like this, where it rests for half an hour. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave this tray to one side and keep adding to it. Maybe I'll show you the larger one now. Oh yeah, I mean, that is way bigger. I've got to just do one out of curiosity. I think we're gonna go back to the other size anyway, just to see how jumbo it does get. I think that's the thing, you gotta make sure you bring all those corners together and then twist it, and then turn it like that. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, now that I've put it down, it doesn't look much bigger at all. That is the actual original one. We've just got like double the dough. We'll get the oven ready so that I can keep resting. We're on the home straight. I'm really intrigued to see what these turn out like. What I've got is an egg wash. I'm just going to turn it around to show you. Look at the difference. This is one of them that's gone, I must have rolled that maybe too thin. It's protruding through, but if it can hold strong, it might be all right. But what we'll do is get some sesame seeds and sprinkle that on. So it's almost become its own burger bun. They're like burger bombs, aren't they? There's so many different things I could call this video. Now there's gonna be air pockets in it. And also to help with the steam, we need to do one more thing. There's my oven. But this thing, I had so many requests and things on my to-do list to do. When Alton Brown does a recipe that I spot, I'm like, I'm gonna be a bit selfish here. I'm gonna do this. As you can see me putting the holes in there, that has actually deflated it slightly. Mainly, apparently, to help with steam. I'm just doing the other ones that I had left over, and you can definitely be more aggressive with the larger ones, but these have been filled with a lot more filling. I mean, now that it's sort of settled a bit, you can see there is a lot more in that than there is in that. Anyhow, as I knock my face on a pastry brush, it's time to bake. 20 minutes in there, apparently. I really hope this works, mostly because that filling was amazing. I could just shoved it in a slice of bread. Let's see. So it says to bake it on the middle shelf, so I've actually left these and I'll put them in just a bit. So far, they've like gone golden brown quite quickly, but I'm gonna try and keep pushing that baking time. The worst thing I wanna do is to take it out and they just go. Folks, these look blooming amazing. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come in here, look at this. Look, you can quite clearly see where I stopped egg washing. There's a little bit of a border on it. There's a little bit of seepage on one or two, but I think as it cools slightly, pure stonk. They smell incredible. Okay, I'm just gonna lift one up. Oh, it's so delicate. Oh, I've given it like maybe 10 minutes to cool down. Look at that color. I've got a few left, which is good because remember that scene at the start of the video? I haven't filmed that yet. You guys have time traveled. That's pretty cool, right? But look at it. It's just really, really vibrant and full of that incredible filling. All of this effort suddenly feels worth it. Amazing. We've already gone and done it, haven't we? Oh. One thing I've got to say though, I think those other ones are a little bit too big, so do divide it into 6 if you try this recipe. I'm going to pick this one up because it feels like a little bit lonely. I've not given this one much love, not talked about it too much. Let's see if we can rip it apart. Oh my word. Ah! Oh, look at that in there. Can I push that like that? Oh my word. Baked through, fluffy, like attached to that filling. Look at that. Oh. That is absolutely outstanding. I think what helps is that we've still got that freshly baked warm taste. It's like freshly baked bread wrapped around that already gorgeous filling that we put so much effort into earlier. The simplicity, the neatness, the unsloppiness of this Unsloppy Joe. It's tender, it's warming, the sweetness, the tang, all of those flavors we had before. It's just that enhancedness being wrapped in freshly baked bread, and even the sesame seeds are giving it a little kick. Literally world class and really neat, which I think was the whole point of this. Damn, that is good. And that is why if I had to do a dream video with anyone, I think Alton Brown, or maybe like if anyone knows him, like get in touch, I will literally fly to his house. I've just to literally just stand there and watch him. Like I'd literally play the role of Homer, I think. If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out that chicken paprika one I did. It was equally as phenomenal. I did the recent Gordon Ramsay butter burger, which was very interesting indeed. If you enjoy what I do here on the channel, please consider subscribing for regular videos each week, and maybe even consider being a patron to support me with the running costs and for lots of extras.